Yellowstone quietly confirmed prestige TV has a new secret weapon 19 years after The Sopranos. When critics reflect on the cultural turning points that led to prestige TV, two shows come to mind: The Sopranos and Yellowstone. David Chase's mob classic in 1999 set in motion what viewers call the prestige TV era. This period cultivated big-picture storytelling that pushed the limits of the medium and the screen, bridging the gap between film and television. 19 years later, Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone materialized, a grand neo-Western epic that insidiously took its place as the new form of prestige TV. With its sweeping cinematography across Montana, morally conflicted patriarch, and operatic family soap, Yellowstone proves that the Western, far from being a mid-20th century anachronism, could be reformed into prestige television's newest secret weapon. Yellowstone adapts the Western for a new era, planting its cowboy values in the most recent debates over land, inheritance, and authority. John Dutton, Kevin Costner, brings cowboys to the 21st century. He is torn between tradition and encroaching modernity, just as Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini, brings mobsters to suburban New Jersey kitchens. Yellowstone taps into the very DNA of prestige TV: antiheroes, moral ambiguity, and the mix of spectacle and intimacy. While The Sopranos rewrote the rulebook in 1999, Yellowstone rewrote it anew in 2018, once and for all proving that the Western was not dead, but alive. The Western is not a mere visual setting but a metaphorical landscape on which questions of identity, progress, and survival are played out in both epic and astonishingly intimate ways. In this sense, Yellowstone is more a continuation than an anomaly of what The Sopranos started. The Sopranos and the birth of prestige TV. When The Sopranos first aired on HBO, it revolutionized television as an art form. It ended the era of formulaic procedural dramas in which characters rewound to the way things were at the end of each episode. Instead, audiences began watching serialized storytelling that demands investment, morally ambiguous heroes, and production quality on par with Hollywood franchises. Tony Soprano is television's inaugural prestige TV antihero, paving the way for an era that would give viewers The Wire, Mad Men, Breaking Bad, and Game of Thrones. The show's success proved that audiences are hungry for morally nuanced storytelling that challenges their sympathies and pushes TV to do better. The brilliance of The Sopranos is in its blending of the mundane and the mythic. Tony is not just a mob boss. He is a husband, a father, and a man who has panic attacks and depression. By seating a mafia don on the couch, the show forces people to empathize with a monstrous and excruciatingly human figure. This paradox is a mark of prestige TV. Every flagship series that followed took the route of making its lead character both villain and victim, lovable and abhorrent. The key to the success of prestige TV is its ability to reinterpret established genres and transform them into theme-based explorations of morality, identity, and power. The Sopranos is not just about mobsters. The show revolves around family, therapy, the tension between tradition and modernity, and the fear of clinging to power in an unstable world. The gangster genre was the vessel, but the show escaped it. Where The Sopranos makes suburban gangsters human, Yellowstone makes contemporary cowboys multidimensional. Yellowstone as the heir to prestige storytelling. When Yellowstone debuted in 2018, most critics wrote it off as another overproduced cable soap, a neo-Western family drama with stunning landscapes and predictable family feuds. However, audience members saw something else. It is a series that pairs the complexity of prestige TV with the archetypal grandeur of the Western. Kevin Costner's John Dutton belongs to the same type as Tony Soprano or Walter White. He is a guy trying to hold on to his kingdom no matter what, even if it means betraying his ideals or annihilating his enemies. The stakes are not city crime or meth empires, but land, reputation, and survival in the modern American West. This turn makes the show appeal to a demographic that is sometimes overlooked by media elites. Taylor Sheridan imported all the accoutrements of prestige TV to Yellowstone, including morally complex characters, serial arc plotting, and a film-style aesthetic. Its panoramic views of Montana's empty ranges were as evocative as The Sopranos' shadowy counseling room. Yellowstone also articulates 21st-century American anxieties, like the erosion of tradition and the spread of globalization. The Duttons' betrayals, romances, and feuds elevated the Western's mythic themes to Shakespearean tragedy. Beth Dutton's Kelly Riley, fiery battles, cases, Luke Grimes, torn loyalties, and Jamie's Wes Bentley, perpetual outsider status, make the family soap opera as rich as the cowboy soap opera. Yellowstone does not simply borrow prestige TV's blueprint. It pushes it, making the Western genre a near-perfect match for modern television's most grand-level storytelling. The Western's reinvention for prestige. Yellowstone's genius is in reinventing the Western for prestige television. Westerns once presented solid binaries, like good and bad. Sheridan shatters them all. All the characters on Yellowstone are flawed, and their decisions are ethically nuanced. John Dutton is no hero. He's a patriarch taking on power in a world that wishes him dead. His children are traumatized and privileged, each from a distinct path of duty or dissent. The bad guys are not caricatures, but manifestations of shifting economic and cultural currents, be they corporate developers, political operatives, or sheer injustices that cannot be dissipated with a fist bump. Where Mad Men extends the parameters of identity in advertising and Breaking Bad extends the parameters of ambition in drugs, Yellowstone makes the American West a metaphor for legacy and toughness in a changing world. Its endurance ensured that the Western lived and breathed when remade through the prism of prestige TV. Sheridan realizes audiences are not hungry for simplistic tales. They are hungry for the grandness of the frontier set against the richness of contemporary existence. The ripple effect has been tremendous. Sheridan's universe has already spilled over into spin-offs like 1883 and 1923, blending period accuracy with prestige sensibilities. Streaming platforms, watching Yellowstone succeed, fought to commission their own Western-inflected shows like Outer Range and Walker. Independence. A dying genre no longer, the Western is now one of the wealthiest and most fertile grounds for prestige experimentation on television. Frontier mythology, long latent, has resurfaced as a reflection of our time's anxieties regarding land, identity, and power. The Sopranos spawned imitations of the gangster genre, but Yellowstone triggered a gold rush of Western reimagings. Prestige TV evolves from The Sopranos to Sheridan. The progression from The Sopranos to Yellowstone illustrates the incredible flexibility and continuity of prestige TV. While the initial series follows gangsters, advertisers, and chemistry teachers, the second wave portrays cowboys, pioneers, and outlaws. It's not the style but the approach, which determines the genre that is prestige TV. Both waves feature universal themes of loyalty and betrayal, survival and power. Therefore, it is not surprising that they fit so naturally into the evolution of the medium. Sheridan's growing universe of Westerns grounds the genre in the prestige TV tradition. Just as audiences were once invested in Tony Soprano's internal conflict between personal ethics and family loyalty, millions are now invested in the internal struggle of the Duttons to preserve their lives against threats from within and without. The Western has been unequivocally reasserted as a method of exploring basic themes, pursuing power, clinging to heritage, and the corrupting effects of ambition. These same issues that are prevalent in The Sopranos, Mad Men, and Breaking Bad are now newly voiced over the tough realities of Montana. Just as important, Yellowstone relocated the viewer. It proves that the genre is no longer the sole possession of city sophisticates. Instead, it resonates with all of rural and heartland America, as well as with multigenerational households. Sheridan breaks the bounds of prestige television by bringing artistic ambition to a highly successful Western family drama. The result has been a cultural phenomenon that rebrands both Western and television drama. Prestige TV began with The Sopranos, which proved that television could be every bit as rich and sophisticated as cinema. 19 years later, Yellowstone rejuvenated the genre, quietly demonstrating that the Western genre, thought to be forgotten, was really prestige TV's new great frontier. By mixing Sheridan's grounded, morally nuanced storytelling with the mythic scale of the American West, Yellowstone has emerged as a ratings juggernaut and a cultural phenomenon. It has widened prestige TV's scope, demonstrating that even genres that are previously discarded as outdated can be reused in a fresh form through complexity, moral ambivalence, and cinematic scope. The continuum from Tony Soprano to John Dutton demonstrates how prestige TV sustains itself by restating old genres and adding complexity, spectacle, and humanity to them.